Hello and welcome to the DPN car collection, and we're in our Rover 45 1.8 2003 saloon, and I thought I'd do this little video because it might be interesting for you. Obviously you can see we've got the glove box out, but I'll tell you why. Yesterday we found some water on our mat, and I've got the mat out at the moment, and it looked very clean water, so we were pretty sure it wasn't from the heater matrix from the engine cooling system that was leaking. So the only thing it could be is rainwater or the air conditioning, which we had going. We do use the air conditioning quite a lot because I like a car to be fairly cool, especially in sort of summery and humid conditions, which yesterday it was a pretty cloudy, warm, humid day, which is when you get the most moisture. So we took the mats out and dried off the carpet. The carpet actually, it didn't look like it had been getting wet for ages, like rain getting in. It looked like it was water just sitting there on the surface, and most of it got onto the carpet as we moved the mats out. And the last night it rained heavy and no more water come in, which makes us more certain it is the air conditioning water. And if you've ever emptied air conditioning water, it's almost very clean because it's a pure water, which is how this looked, which is why we also thought it's unlikely to be rain. So what I've done this morning is took the glove box out. Now if you'd like to see a detailed sort of video on us removing the glove box, we did that when we did the sort of air filter change, which sits just behind this little flap here, but more or less it's a little bolt here and here. And if I come over to the back of the glove box, you can see there's the little hinge there, and these are the little sort of bolt screws that remove it, and that just drops out. So what we can then do is, on the under sort of neath of where the glove box goes and all the air system sits, is this almost like felt insulation that should just unhook from that side and drop down. Now, it does seem to go right under the dash, and again it's not got too wet, only this real back bit here. So what I did was pulled this down to have a look and see if I could find the drain hose, because I thought perhaps the drain hose that drains the condensation in the air conditioning system is blocked. But what I actually found is, here you can see any moisture drops down to the bottom of this plastic, and right here is the drain hole, and as you can see the hose isn't on. Now we use the air conditioning quite a lot, and we've had this car for at least 5 years plus, and we've never had any water problems, so the hose must have been on. So somehow either by someone's put their foot up and knocked it, or it was only just on and a bump has knocked it off. But as you can see, the hose is completely off of where it's supposed to go. So actually it was quite an easy fault to kind of find straight away, and hopefully pretty obviously is the fault, and there's actually water still dripping out from the air conditioning system where it's sitting in there. As you put your finger on it, that just brings a little bit more water out. But I thought it was useful because it's sort of thing that could catch you out, and you might not realise that the air conditioning system needs to drain water, or you might not realise where it is. And I wasn't quite sure where the hose was, because I've normally only seen it when we're working on the underneath of the cars, but I was pretty sure it'd be somewhere there. What we are going to do is put down a little unblocking rod just to make sure this hose isn't blocked. Then we get it back on and probably use a tie. And also, while we're here, what we will do is remove this and blow out any dirt that happens to be in the filter, because it's a good opportunity to do that. And I won't film that because, as I said, we've got a video on doing that, and it's well worth a look if you've come across this video. So yeah, what I'm going to do is use a little unblocking rod, stick it down that hose just to make sure it's not blocked anywhere. It's probably unlikely, because, as I said, the air conditioning system's been working fine for years, but it's worth doing it while we're here, and then we'll get that hose back on. But it's also useful to know if you are getting water pouring out, then it could be that hose is blocked, and that's a good way of accessing it. And if you're getting water coming in and you've ruled out rainwater and your sort of heater matrix leaking, then and you've been using your air conditioning, then it could well be that hose is either damaged or has come off. Like as I said, it's unusual for something to just come off, but I can only assume perhaps it wasn't on very well and it's eventually come off, or someone's caught it with their feet or pushed onto the carpet and it's come away. Or we've just got particularly humid weather and more water's coming out than normal. As I say, over 5 years of regular use, I think we'd have seen water coming down, so I assume it has come off in recent times. Right, so hopefully what you can see is we've got one of those little drain unblocking tools, and one end has like a little foam scrape, and I think that's a bit tight to go down there, so I've just put in the blank end of it. You can see there's the hose, and all I'm doing is just pulling this in and out and push it. I did have a look to see if I could see it coming down under the car, which I can't. I don't want to push it too hard. There's no mud coming off the end or dirt. So what we may try and do is just put a little bit of water down there now. And if the water comes out underneath the car, we know that it's probably definitely not blocked, and that will give it a wash through as well. So I'm going to do that now. And as you can see, it's gone quite a long way, and there's no real dirt or mud on the end of that, so I think it's unlikely that's blocked, and that just makes sure that it isn't. So yeah, we kind of have a bit of a better idea, and I forgot I had this. Is a syringe we use for measuring out any of our things like our APC cleaner. So what I've done is filled it up with some plain water, and because it's very difficult even getting a funnel in here, it wouldn't be very easy. What I've done, hopefully you can see if I pull the carpet back and we let the camera focus in. Yeah, hopefully you can see that just about this hose I've pushed down into the hose that takes the drain away from the air conditioning system, poked it down there and then syringing some water through. And if we come out and have a look just underneath the car, yeah, hopefully you can see there the water is coming out and dripping down onto a bit of the chassis there. So there's no resistance when I'm pushing the syringe through, so that's washed it through and let us know that that hose definitely isn't blocked and is working, and if any water goes down it is going to get out and down to the outside of the car. So I thought it was worth covering, because if you do think you've got a blockage or you've got a problem like us, while you're there it's well worth just sort of washing that hose through. And if you've got one of those sort of syringes or possibly a funnel with a long tube that are poked down there, you can make sure the water's definitely going to get out and there definitely is no blockages. And so if I pan just back down and in, you can just see the hose once more where it is and where it attaches on. What we're going to do is push it back on and use a tie to make sure hopefully it can't come off again. So that's what we're going to do next, now that we know there's water flowing through it, and we've put that little rod down to make sure there's no clogs in it either. Right, so hopefully you can see there the hose is back on to the bottom of the drain there for the air conditioning sort of condenser inside, and you can see what we've done is put a tie around it as well. If I just move the torsion a bit better there, yeah, that's getting a good view. You can see the ties around it there, and obviously I'll cut the end of that tie off, but I left the end on to make it easier to see what we've done. So I hope there's no risk of that hose coming off in the future, although we've not had that problem on any of our other 45, so I assume it's fairly rare, but something that is possible. So while we're in there, we'll put that tie on to make sure it can't happen again. I just thought I'd add why that tie is now all back on. It was quite difficult getting that pipe on, because I had to push it forward and then try and pull it back over the end. Now it wasn't a tight fit, but the pipe had almost gone back when I had to push it, so I had to sort of pull it on with both hands, pull it back get it right over as much as I could so a tie could go round and grip it well. So that wasn't a big problem. I thought I'd just mention it is worth being aware that it's a little bit difficult and fiddly to get that pipe back on, and if you did want to take it off for some reason, I'd imagine it would be the same but easier. So I just thought I'd add that in as well. So that's the tie cut, and that is hopefully that job complete. Obviously we'll keep an eye on it, but I don't see that there should be any problems there. What we do is leave this down so it dries out, because the back of that carpet's a little bit damp, but nothing major. I've put my hands down the back, and obviously this bit of felt here has got a little bit of dampness on. And what we do while we're here is clean out the little filter that's in there as well, and then put it all back, which is just putting the carpet back, putting this back up, and then the glove box back. So we're going to get on with that, but that is the end of this video. Hopefully that's been of interest to you and of use to you. It's certainly been interesting for me, and actually it's easier to get to that drain hose and pipe than I first thought, and it's given us a good chance to clean it out and check it's all working as well, make sure it hopefully doesn't happen again. As always, don't forget to look through our videos, especially the one that covers changing and cleaning out the little air filter or cabin filter there. And of course you can look at our other videos. Don't forget we're on Twitter and Instagram as well. As always, thank you very much for watching.